Explorers, welcome back. I know I forgot to show you guys the pouches before the end of that video. I just completely forgot. So here's two more that got completed. There's this one, which I'm so obsessed with this image, you guys. I am so obsessed with it. So there's that one. There's this one, which I think turned out really good. So, okay. So let's get the Super Bucks money. Alright, let's see. D-Bucks, A, B, C, D, F, A. There is not going to be any H's in here, which really sucks. We only needed one more H-Buck to finish out that tracker, but this is the rest of the bucks that I have. So we've already gone through them. I know there's no H-Bucks in there, because we went in looking for H-Bucks. But that is okay. If these brands ever pay, I can go to the bank and pull out some more Super Bucks, and then hopefully have some H-Bucks in there. But we shall see. Super frustrating because the amount that I'm waiting on is enough to cover all of my bills. It's not a ton of money, but my bills are also not a lot. So it's two brands, but it's just really frustrating because, like I said, if those paychecks would come through, I wouldn't have to go to the bank and deposit anything because they would cover the bills. Those two plus what's sitting in my account would be enough to cover. But I have emailed both multiple times, trying to get a response, a solution. One of them is really frustrating because I've been working with them for like a year now and never had an issue, and then they switched over to a new girl. And I thought the new girl was on top of things because, like, she handled a refund for something that I've been waiting on for 4 months, and she got it done like immediately after our Zoom call. But now I'm waiting on payment and haven't received it, and I'm not getting a response. And neither is a friend of mine who's also working with them. Excuse me. Working with them and waiting for her payment. She hasn't received her payment or a response either. So, little worrisome. Especially because right now things are really, really slow. Like, we just have nothing really coming in. I have signed some stuff myself this month, so hopefully December's a little bit better as far as pay goes, but we shall see. It's gonna be a struggle. It's gonna be a struggle. We're probably just gonna have to wipe out emergency. Which, I mean, emergency didn't have a ton, so it's not like we're wiping out a lot of money. And at the end of the day, that is what it's there for. For times like now when it's super slow. That's why I'm really so determined to get this debt paid off so that I can build up that emergency, because with my job, we're never guaranteed work. Like, we're just not guaranteed work, so having an emergency fund is vital. But I also feel like I can't really work on an emergency fund when I have this debt that is throwing away $100+ a month in interest. It's just silly. Okay, let's get this done. So, A is for airfare. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The reason I'm still able to do Super Bucks is because this is money that was already pulled and set aside. So if I ever need to take money back to the bank, I take it from the challenge money. I try not to touch Super Bucks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this is the rest of the Super Bucks though. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hopefully those payments will come through before next week when we would be getting ready to do this video again. Hopefully. We can only hope. We can only hope. And then by then, I know I have another brand that is getting ready to pay out very soon. So that'll be nice too. And then that'll be good to go. It's crazy how fast it can go from like we're struggling to we're fine. Like it's literally a matter of one payment. Alright, so in A-Bucks we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 towards... Yeah, okay. 11 towards bundle number 2. I was looking at the tracker trying to see if it just didn't seem right. Alright, B-Bucks. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, $8. So 6, 7, 8 puts us right here. If I had to guess, the B-Bucks will probably be done right before my actual birthday, so we'll use this to like go out to dinner on my birthday. Although, we didn't use any of our anniversary money. For our anniversary. We ended up not doing anything. I think we just stayed home. I don't think we literally did anything. Granted, for our wedding anniversary, we went to, we were in Paris, so. But usually we just go out to eat. So this one, I'm not upset if this one takes a while to complete, because I would rather not use this one on our trip. That way we have a little bit of money set aside for my actual birthday to go do something. Okay, so in V-Bucks, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 towards bundle number 1. C-Bucks. We have 1, 2, 3, 4. Big difference from last week. Last week we had like, I swear like 13, right? I remember getting a lot last week. Kind of a bummer because I really want to finish this one before we go to that concert, and that concert's this coming week. If we don't, that's okay. What I think I'll do is, I need to pull money from the Halloween. So we have $4 towards bundle number 4. I don't care. I should have pulled money for Halloween because I did end up buying the kids some stuff. Like, if you didn't see my story, Lennox got a haunted house that you paint from, like a haunted dollhouse that you paint from Michael's. Wrigley got a skeleton that you paint. I got them each a few pieces, like little things of candy. Like Wrigley got a thing of candy corn cotton candy. Lennox got like pumpkin cotton candy. They each got, Wrigley got some like creepy crawlers, sour worms. Lennox got Albany's fall flavored gummies. And then they each got a bracelet making kit that was Halloween themed. They got a bracelet making kit to share. So like they each got their own, and then they got one to share. And then Lennox got Thing, like the remote control thing from Wednesday, and she got the I Am Wednesday book. Wrigley got a new Dogman book, and the Transformers, a Transformers toy that he wanted. All in, I did not spend that much. I think the most expensive thing each was their toys, and Target had the toys like it was like $10 off when you spent 50 or something. So I got their toys for like I don't know. I didn't spend that much on their toys. The books were buy one get one 50% off. And then all of the Halloween stuff I got at Michael's, and they had 60% off Halloween, so I spent like $30 total at Michael's, and that was including the things that I was getting for myself. So I really didn't spend much, but I never took that money out of the Halloween fund. So I think what I might do is take the money out of the Halloween fund to use for the concert, and then when the C-Bucks finish, just put that into the Halloween. Basically, just let them handle each other. So D-Bucks, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Ooh, we're so close to finishing this one. Oh, you know what? I said there was one that was about to... This one. So 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 puts us down here. This one's starting to dry out, so let's try to, like, use it up. So this one will definitely... There's a gnat in here. The kids had the door open, or Lennox had the door open because she was riding her bike outside. This one will definitely finish before the end of the month, and we will probably pay off the have that first why can't I think, you guys? Have the backup credit card paid off. Because we only have $156 left on it. This is $100. And then, trying to think. This is $100. And then I've got one of the brands. Once that finally comes through, that'll be $50. And then we'll just take $6 from the debt book. So if I had to guess, debt will probably be paid off next week. The backup. And then we'll start working on the main. So I know I said that I took from emergency to pay bills. So what I did was, the main credit card bill was due, and it was $174. I went ahead and paid that out of emergency, because I just didn't have it to pay. I have not paid any of my other bills out of emergency. I'm probably going to if these paychecks do not come soon. But here's the thing. I still have to take money back to the bank to actually pay those bills. And then emergency will basically just pay that back. And the reason being, my emergency fund is sitting in a high yield. And it takes several days for that money to, once you withdraw it, it takes several days for that money to actually hit my bank account. So if I were to try to pay the bills with the emergency fund right now, my bills would be late. Like, it's just not possible. So, it's kind of why I'm a little nervous too about these paychecks coming in, though, is because I just marked on my hand twice. Is because it's Friday. So it is currently Friday at 4:40. So I know within like the next 10 minutes these brands are going to be done for the weekend, and I'm not going to hear anything back until next week. And that's just a long time to sit here waiting. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, $18. Okay. $18 towards bundle number 4. Holiday, I already know we don't have any H-Bucks and we only need 1. That's okay. Alright, let's go on to E. E-Bucks, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 E-Bucks. unstuff this at the end of the year. Alright, F bucks. Also getting unstuffed at the end of the year. So you can see the F. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, $22. I truly cannot fit any more in here. And this is so heavy. Okay, let me move this aside. G bucks. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 G bucks. Also getting unstuffed at the end of the year and going to go into the grease high yield. Look at that. That's going to be nice. Especially because our grease high yield already has $1,000 in it. Like we're doing so well. I love super bucks, you guys. If I could do super bucks every day, I probably would. Okay, so iBucks, we have 2 iBucks, and these are going into Ireland, so that someday I can take my husband on his dream trip to Ireland. So we're going to put these 2 iBucks in this Ireland pouch. There's not a lot in there, but that's okay. I'm not worried about this one because it's not even on the schedule. J is for Japan. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's actually a good amount of J bucks. So J is for Japan. We have 7. Ooh, we're getting close to finishing this one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Ooh, we only need 11 more. And then we get to put $100 into the Japan high yield. So in J bucks, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, $14. $14 towards bundle number 4. And last but not least, we have L bucks. I'm still thinking that the F bucks that are in the Paris box are going to go for flights. L bucks, still no idea. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 L bucks. Like I said, still no idea where that's going. Putting this box in here. And that is it for my super bucks. Let's do dailies. I want to talk to you guys about some of my travel plans. So, I need to move those out of the way. Let's do this one first. This is for debt. $4. $4. I have to find everything. Let's pull $4. And I can probably think I can pull a 5. And put back a 1. Perfect. So in this one we have $500, $550 that's already been paid towards a credit card, and $6. Once that $6 gets up to $50, we'll make another payment. Okay. This one, let's pull a 5. Okay. So in this one we have 20, 35, 45, 55. 55 out of 100 so far. This one, we're going to roll the dice. $2. One and two. Once this one is filled up, we will make a payment towards debt. That is 8 in that binder. And then we have the Japanese paper doll. And we're on a roll the dice. $6. Ooh. Okay. That's the first 6 we've rolled down here for daily. We've rolled it a few times up at the top. 1, 2, 3. Okay, we're going to pull out these $4 and put in a 10. And that is that. Okay, so the plan. The plan. We are going to start hitting, once we can, we're going to start hitting Japan pretty heavily. And because I think we're trying to go in May. Now, originally we were trying to do the Greece cruise in like May, June-ish time, but I really just, we kind of all agree Japan is really our top priority. And and we have decided, Corey and I have decided, we are not going to do the apartment in Japan. Here's why. The apartment is going to cost us about $5,500 for the month, which is not bad. I mean, if you think about it, where can you vacation for an entire month for $5,500? You can't. However, because it's an apartment, we have to put a deposit, a 1-month deposit. That 1-month deposit is $3,700. So really, in order to rent this apartment, we have to come up with $8,700-ish, a little over $8,700 for the month we're going to be there, and then we'll get that $3,700 back within a month of returning. I don't really like the idea of them holding on to $3,700 for 2 months, the month we're there and then a month when we get back. That just makes me kind of nervous, and that's a lot of money. If it was somewhere that I was staying for like a year and they were taking a security deposit, okay, cool, understandable. But for a month stay, like it's excessive. So I don't really love the idea of that. That's also like, that means that's another $3,700 that I have to come up with that we're not even able to really use. We're not able to use on the trip. Plus, we know that when we go, there's a few different areas we want to be in. So while it's a lot cheaper to stay in an apartment, because I have found that it is cheaper to stay in an apartment, when I'm looking at these other apartment options, like other companies that maybe don't take such a big deposit, I'm just not comfortable with them. A lot of them look like they're like guest bedrooms on people's houses, or even like a guest house that somebody owns. They're overly cluttered. They just look more like personal homes and less like vacation rentals. Which is something I really like about Blue Ground, is how crisp and clean and not overly filled the apartments are. They have just what you need in them. Because the reason I don't like to do like Airbnb and stuff is because I feel like they way overdo it with decor and stuff, and I'm always so afraid I'm going to forget my things there, because my things are going to get kind of mixed up with, when there's just too much stuff in a room, that's when you end up forgetting things. When I stay places, I do not unpack. I don't use the closets. I don't use drawers. I literally vacation out of my suitcase because I'm so afraid of losing my stuff. The only thing that I do unpack is like my bathroom, my toiletries, like those will stay on the bathroom counter, but that's it. So, yeah, after looking at these other, like, rentals, I didn't love them. So we've decided instead we're going to do hotels. By doing hotels, it's going to allow us to stay in different areas. It's going to allow us to stay at some of our, like, the hotels that we really want to stay at. So obviously, like, when we go to Disney, we want to stay in one of the Disney hotels. When we go down to Universal, we want to stay in a hotel there. When we go to, there's a lot of really cool hotels in Japan that I would like to experience. And so by us doing just hotels, we can do that. My hesitation to doing a hotel over an apartment is not having the ability to cook. Just because I have Ridley, who's very, very picky. And so the idea of not being able to feed him exactly what he wants. But Corey and I looked in Tokyo. There's a lot of American food places there. Yes, I know. Why would you go to Japan and eat American food? Because he's a child. Because he's a child, and not all children have wide palates. Wrigley doesn't. And that's okay. I'm a picky person. I have a much wider palate than I did, when I was, even in my 20s. Like, my palate has grown quite a bit now versus what it was even in my 20s. So, I don't force my kids to eat things that they don't want to. And I never will. So I try to make sure that my kids have exactly what they like to eat. Lennox is going to be totally fine. That girl could live on rice. Japan is her perfect place. She's very excited about the food. Wrigley I struggle with. He doesn't eat rice. He doesn't eat steak. He doesn't eat burgers. He doesn't eat fries. He doesn't eat... There's very few things he does eat, but as long as there's a McDonald's with chicken nuggets or hot spicy chicken sandwiches or whatever, like, at least I know he will eat something, or pizza, whatever. So we did look around the area, and there are places he will eat. And then Corey made a good point. We're probably not going to cook a lot in Japan. We're going to primarily want to be trying the different foods, like him and I. So that was a really good point. But then my other hesitation is not being able to do laundry. Because we like to, ever since we've been staying in these hotels with Blue Ground, we know they have a washer and dryer. Well, a washer. They don't have a dryer. They have a washer, so we've been able to come with a lot less clothing because we know we can just wash it. It's not a big deal. Which means then we're not paying for luggage. Because we're only bringing what our free luggage allowance is. So that will be a little bit of an issue, but I'm pretty sure we can find some place to do laundry there. So, yeah, that is the plan. And then as far as Greece goes, originally we were looking at, like, exactly what cruise we wanted to do based off the itinerary. And I was pretty dead set on, like, this is the cruise I want to do, blah, 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 blah. We'll stay in Blue Ground, like a Blue Ground apartment, either the week before or the week after, because they'll host us because they do have apartments in Athens that I can choose from. But the issue is, if I'm being hosted by them, we don't know what's available. Like, we can't request an apartment until it comes up available on our sheet. They don't come up available on our sheet until pretty last minute. And the reason being, the only reason we're allowed to stay in them as a partnership is because those are last minute ones that they couldn't book, or they're in between bookings. So they're not about to host me in an apartment a year out. They're not going to let me schedule that a year out because that's something that they could potentially book up from a paying customer. So we get a sheet that's updated every 3 hours, and it basically gives us it has the country code because they have different countries that they work in. It has the country code, and then it has, like, the address, the area it's in, and then the dates it's available. And they do that for every single apartment, and then we can click on it, and it'll show us, like, images of the apartment and whatnot. And that just gets updated with it. It's called the gap sheet because we're filling in gaps for apartments that they couldn't book because somebody else checked out, and then the next booking isn't, it's an odd amount of time in between. So they allow us to fill that time because they weren't going to book that anyways. So that is the issue with that is obviously for the apartment, I wouldn't be able to get that until last minute. And if I want a specific cruise, I have to book that in advance. I don't want to book a cruise in advance and then risk not being able to get the apartment. So what we've decided is when we're ready to go on that cruise, or when it gets closer to the time, I think we're going to try and go around September-ish. Again, everything is kind of up in the air because we want to do Japan first, and then, you know, my income is never guaranteed, so that's why my trips are always kind of up in the air. So I think we basically flip-flopped Japan and Greece. So Greece, we're looking at around September because I still want it to be warm, but I don't want it to be blazing hot where like we get into the ports and we're dying. But I want it to be warm enough that we can go in the water when we're there. So September looks like it's probably a good time to go. So what we're gonna do is when it gets closer to that time, I will look at what apartments are available and see what Greece cruises line up with those apartment availabilities. Ideally, we would have one that starts in Athens and ends in Barcelona, or starts in Barcelona and ends in Athens. The reason being, Blue Ground I can book for Barcelona and for Athens. So basically, I would try to work out with them where I could do maybe a week in Barcelona leading up to the cruise, do the cruise, and then do a week in Athens after the cruise. Now, that would mean that we wouldn't be going to Italy or Croatia, but that's totally fine. Greece is our primary place we're trying to go. The rest of the stops don't really matter to us. Ideally, we wouldn't do Turkey. It just doesn't really look like... But then again, maybe we should be trying to go for Turkey, because that's not a country I really care to visit. So, adding it onto a cruise, then we can say we've been there, like we will have been there without actually booking a trip to go there. So, I don't know. But that is how we're going to handle those two trips. And then initially I had a third trip planned for September. Like a third trip was planned and it was supposed to be in September. I don't know if that's going to happen. Everything's kind of up in the air. It's really going to depend on my income and the Japan trip. Japan is top priority. After Japan, we can figure it out. Because actually, I think Greece would be even better if we were able to do it in like... See, this is the problem. Like, I could easily get a cruise for Greece in July. The issue is, it's so hot. Which I love. I love the heat. Like, if we were just going to Santorini and gonna be like, on the beach or whatever, or Mykonos, absolutely. But doing a cruise, we want to actually explore each port, and then we want to explore Athens for like a week. That sounds miserable, walking around in the humidity with it being 96 degrees. That's what it is here in Orlando, and it's not fun. So, plus, I don't know why, but Greece in July is very, very, very expensive. Like, the cruises. Which is crazy, because typically when it's, like, Orlando in July is actually the cheaper time to go, because it's so hot, most people avoid it. So, but I don't know. So yeah. Everything beyond Japan is kind of up in the air. I would like to do Japan in May. That's like our top, like our number one plan. Greece is like our second plan. And then I would like to add in a third one. I'd like to get a third trip in for the year. I don't want to do just 2 trips because I will go insane just sitting at home in between all of those. Like if I go to Japan in May and then I don't do another trip until September, I'll probably lose my mind. I'll probably end up booking like London or something in the middle. Because going to London is actually pretty affordable. And who knows? Maybe we'll go to Japan and we'll extend our trip. We could also do that. Although probably not, because I don't foresee myself making a lot of money while I'm in Japan. I'm not going to be able to get products. But that's also why. That's another reason why I picked May. I picked May because of the weather. It's not super hot. It's not super cold. It's kind of perfect weather. And then I also picked it because it's not a super busy time for me. Because it's after Easter. It's after spring break. So it's kind of, May is like a great time for me to travel because then I can use that to promote summer travel. Hope that makes sense. So, in case you guys were ever wondering, I just gave you a bunch of information that nobody asked for, but at the same time, I kind of do get asked to talk more about the thought process of, okay, I just got an email. Nope, not from anybody I wanted. I kind of do get asked to talk about, like, my thought process when it comes to travel planning, a little more behind the scenes kind of stuff, like, the background stuff, so, if you stayed this long, thank you. If you never hear this part, that's okay too. So, with that being said, that is officially all that I have for you guys today, and hopefully I will see you back here tomorrow, and hopefully by then I've been paid. So until next time, bye!